What is up, everybody out there in HeroClix land? Welcome back to day 2 of the new Marvel HeroClix unboxing series, X-Men, the animated series. Yesterday we opened 2 boosters. We got 2 super rares. I'm not going to tell you who they are. If you want to know what they are, go back and watch day 1. That's right, just pause this video, go back and catch day 1. I promise you will not be disappointed. For everybody that was with me yesterday, how awesome were those boosters? They were insane. We are coming to you from Hyper RPG Studios in Studio City, California, where we are once again proud to share a new HeroClix set with you. X-Men the Animated Series was huge for preteen and teenage me in the 90s, and this set is bringing back all that nostalgia in spades. Yesterday was awesome. We got Morph, we got Jean Grey. We got only 4 heroes, and one of those is questionable with Morph from the animated series. So we may see a lot of villains in this set. But I can't wait to see what is in it. I think we have a very base understanding now. The Acolytes look like they're going to be big players in this set. X-Men villains are going to play a big role in this set. Of course, the X-Men from the cartoon, all of the guest stars I think that are going to be coming in and out are going to play a big role in this set. And then we've got the Colossals. Figuring out who in the X-Men universe can be a Colossal is going to be a ton of fun. And without further ado, let's just figure out what our first Colossal of the day is. Each of these boosters is going to have 4 regular size figure and 1 big fig. Yesterday we got Exodus and we got Shadow King, and they are both incredible looking. So the sculpts are massive and they are great. And you know what? This is the one I think everybody would think of right away when they think, what in the X-Men universe deserves to be a Colossal figure? Well, obviously it is a Sentinel. And this is that old school red and purple color blocked Sentinel. You can see some special design on the face. You can see the chest plate there has a little bit of art on it too. They step up these sculpts almost every single set, but I love how pure the colors. Look at that purple and that red. It just feels animated right in front of you. WizKids has really figured out how to bring animation to life immediately. When I see this, I think about a cartoon. I don't even think about as much. Look at those thick lines, that black around his shoulders and down into his chest plate. I don't even think of the comics as much as I think of the cartoon right there. So WizKids has done a marvelous job with that. All right, the rest of the booster we have some really cool stuff. We have Scanner, who we already got yesterday. We have Avalanche in his animated costume and his kind of like old school looking costume. We have Belladonna, who for fans of Gambit plays a huge role in everything that has to do with him and his past and his history. And then we got a really interesting looking Magneto. I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at here. So let's start out by moving Scanner to the side because we got her yesterday. And let's start with Avalanche. Avalanche, zoop. Like I said, in that classic costume, that white and silver, a little translucent power coming off the front of him. He comes in at 50 points. He's got the Brotherhood keyword, and we'll take a look at his card in just a moment here. But I'm sure we can expect Avalanche, Pyro, Toad, Blob, you know, all those old Brotherhood figures. Let's take a look at his card. He's set number 31, Brotherhood of Mutants, Freedom Force keywords. My mutant brothers and sisters is a trait. Once per turn, when an effect other than clearing removes an action token from Avalanche after resolutions, heal him 1 click. Wait, once per turn, when an effect other than clearing an action token from Avalanche after resolution. Wow, I didn't expect him to get some regeneration. I wonder if that's a shared power or a shared trait that we have there. Split the Earth is a special attack power, Quake. When Avalanche uses it, you may choose that he has giant reach of 4, or after resolutions, he can use barrier at no cost. Special damage power, it all comes crumbling down. Destroy a piece of blocking terrain within range. This might be the best Avalanche we've ever gotten, hands down. An 11 attack, some sidestep, toughness. He's got that giant reach of 4 on the Quake, which is awesome. This might be the best Avalanche we have ever had, and I'm very, very excited to see it. All right, moving on. I want to take a look, I guess, at Belladonna next. Now, again, I talked about yesterday how, you know, Gambit is not necessarily one of my favorite characters of all time, but, you know, his history with the assassins and all the stuff that happened with him in New Orleans and everything, it was kind of interesting. It just kind of, to me, felt out of place in the world of the X-Men. I think people that came to X-Men in the 90s love Gambit. And his romance with Rogue is a classic love story in the annals of comic books. So there's a lot of value to him. But Belladonna, now this is someone you just don't want to mess with. So let's go ahead and take a look at the card here. She is set number 16. She comes in at 50 points. Assassin and spy. With this ring, he will do whatever I tell him to. Mind control. Free. If no character has her wedding ring token, make a close attack targeting a character that Belladonna hit with mind control this turn. If you hit, instead of normal damage, give that character a wedding ring token, and that is a trait. The second trait being Belladonna's ring, the opposing character with her wedding ring modifies defense by -2 when targeted by mind control, and she may target that character regardless of range or line of fire. So you do not want your big hitter on your team carrying her wedding ring, because she will make the rest of your team pay. Some poison, some stealth, some super senses there, 50 points. So there you go, Belladonna. I believe we've never seen Belladonna in Clix form, so we are getting new characters on the regular in this particular set. The next one I'm going to do is Magneto, because the Magneto we got is strange. There's something going on with this Magneto. If you can see here, he's kind of translucent. I don't know what this is. I don't know why Magneto looks like this. So let's get into the card and figure it out. It's 50 points, got an 8 range, 2 targets. And the card, oh, I get it now. I get it. Guys, this is very, very cool. Magneto, Brotherhood of Mutants, robot. 11B. This is a prime, folks. It doesn't have the green prime ring. It has a silver ring. But this is a danger room construct of Magneto. So this is not the real Magneto, but what they used to train against on the X-Men team here. We've got a danger room construct as a trait. When Magneto makes an attack after resolutions, give him an error token for each one in the attack roll, maximum of 3. If Magneto has 2 or less error tokens, characters take a maximum of 1 damage from Magneto's attacks. Magneto takes a maximum of 1 damage from opponent's attacks and cannot be healed or chosen for Mastermind. Protected against Pulse Wave. Trait, lessons from the Danger Room. Magneto. If Magneto is KO'd by an opposing character for the rest of the game, that character can use Energy Shield Deflection. And a third trait, Simulated Master of Magnetism, Force Blast. When Magneto knocks back an opposing character, you may choose the direction of the knockback. Come on, X-Chicken, you are helpless against my power, X-Men. These are all like staged, corny lines that Magneto has said in the past, but that they use again in the Danger Room. Running Shot, Psychic Blast, 4 damage, Indomitable, 18 defense, Range Combat Expert on that first click, plus those 3 traits. I believe that this is a prime. I mean, it doesn't have the green ring, but it would be really cool if we got a Danger Room construct at each level in this set. So I'm hoping that happens. All right, last but not least, we do have the Sentinel. We took a good look at the Sentinel at the beginning of the opening of this particular box. Take a look at the card here. Sentinel. Colossal number 2 comes in at 33 or 25 points. Knight of the Sentinels. If you paid 33 points for Sentinel, at the beginning of the game, choose a starting line. If you paid 25 points for Sentinel, or it was brought into the game by another effect, oh, yes! Brought into the game by another effect, like the one that Senator Robert Kelly has in the Friends of Humanity on day 1. That is awesome. Roll a d6 to determine its starting click. Click number 1, click number 2, etc., etc. If you roll a 6, click number 16. If brought into the game by another effect, their point value is 25. Another trait, Prime Directive. At the beginning of your turn, Sentinel may move 1 square. If an opposing character with the X-Men or Brotherhood of Mutants keyword is on the map, you may move 1 additional square. So definitely hunting mutants. A special movement power, capture coils, plasticity, but affects all opposing characters within 3 squares in line of fire. And a special attack power, knockout gas, incapacitate. When Sentinel uses it as close, it may instead target all opposing characters within 3 squares and line of fire, regardless of adjacency. Take a look at the inside there. You see a ton of powers. Take a look at the back, and you can see all those different starting lines. They're only 2 clicks long. All those starting lines are only 2 clicks long, which explains why they are only 25 or 33 points. 33 points, you get to choose one of those. 25 points, you get to go ahead and roll the dice and see what you end up getting. And I mentioned Senator Robert Kelly, who we pulled yesterday. He can pop out POGs, Friends of Humanity figures, while he's on the board. If he pops out 3 of them, or he has 3 of the Friends of Humanity, he can pop out a Sentinel. That is really cool. So this is the Sentinel that he will be bringing. 25 or 33 point, 2 click long Sentinel. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, moving right along. We are going to open booster number 4 and see what we get. Okay. Being careful, hopefully. Yeah, all the rest of these seem to be secured really well. Ooh, and we are getting the man himself. We are getting a colossal figure of Magneto. Yeah. Oh man, he looks great. Kind of like Exodus, except for Exodus has got a little bit more going on. Looks like they have the same base sculpt. You look at them side by side here. We pulled Exodus on day 1. There's Magneto. So Exodus has that energy web in front of him, but Magneto just looks big and powerful. Magneto is going to be rad. I can't wait to see what else that Magneto does. All right, I'll pop the rest of these guys out of the bubble wrap here. Oh, we got Amelia Vaught. She's one of the few acolytes that I know that has had some staying power. She came off her dial, just like the Kleinstock brother. See, a lot of these are just in bubble wrap inside the box. So just the utmost care, I think, when you're taking these guys out. I think that's going to be the key. We've got Cable. We've got Callisto. Oh, yes. Again, not really expecting to see Callisto, but had an episode or 2 dedicated to her in the cartoon, so of course we're going to see her. And then we've got, an Assassin's Guild generic, which is using that same sculpt as Belladonna. Let me move them up here so you can see them all together. And like I said, Amelia Vaught came off of her dial, and I apologize for that. It was the same with the Kleinstock brother, but you can kind of take a good look at them all here in just a moment. Magneto looks completely awesome, though. And I've been putting good guys on one side of the table, bad guys on the other, and he's going to sit right in the middle because, well, that's what Magneto always did. Cable with that old traditional, that blue and green. Oh, sorry, Amelia. Sorry, Amelia Vaught. I busted her. I guess I'll put Callisto in the middle of the table too because she's not really good or bad. She's kind of walks the line. All right, let's take a look at their cards here. We will start, of course, with the generic, which is the Assassin's Guild. The Assassin's Guild come in at 15 points. Set number 4, Assassin, Martial Artist, keywords, a trait, appear as part of the background. Stealth, if Assassin's Guild is adjacent to hindering terrain and it's not your turn, lines of fire drawn to it are blocked. So Assassin's Guild do not have to be in hindering terrain to get the benefits of stealth. They can be adjacent to it. Only 2 clicks long, 15 points, but Charge and Blades can always put a wrinkle in somebody's plans on a HeroClix table. So very dangerous at 15 points. We're going to move right on to Amelia Vaught. Amelia Vaught comes in at 45 points. Has Acolytes, Brotherhood of Mutants keywords. Has Mutant Messiah, which is a shared trait for all of the Acolytes. Mutant Messiah, at the beginning of the game, for all characters with this trait, choose a friendly character with the Acolytes of Brotherhood of Mutants or X-Men keyword. that character can use Mastermind, but only to choose characters with this trait. Special movement power. Slide in under the door, phasing, teleport, and can carry 4 passengers, but only to carry characters that share a keyword with her. Transmute out of danger. Super senses. Once per turn, when Amelia Vaught or an adjacent friendly character would take 3 or more damage, you may give that character 2 action tokens to take 1 unavoidable damage instead. If you do after resolutions, you may place the character in a square adjacent to her current square. Yeah, Amelia, you know, a good way to stick around in the world of Marvel Comics is to be some type of teleporter. Some type of person who can carry multiple people and get in and out of places, some type of phasing taxi. You see it all the time. These characters are super valuable. They help all of your characters get around in the comic books. And Amelia Vaught has stuck around for a very long time. She's played both sides, been a good guy at some points, been a bad guy at some points. Frenzy comes to mind. That's another Acolyte, maybe hoping to see this set. But from that, we'll move on to Callisto. Callisto comes in at 45 points. She has the Underground team ability. We've got Morlocks, Martial Artist, and Ruler keywords. A trait, we live here because we reject what's above. She has Stealth. Other friendly characters with the Morlocks keyword can use the Underworld team ability. Leader of the Morlocks, special damage power, close combat expert, and leadership. When Callisto damages an opposing character with an attack, give her a rightful leader token. When Callisto uses leadership before you roll, you may remove a rightful leader token to automatically succeed at it. On the backside here, you can see her dial. Pretty basic, but Callisto caused a lot of trouble for the X-Men over the years and was no different in the animated series as well. I do like how all of these feel both that they're from the world of comics and from the world of the animated series, which is what made the animated series feel so good, is a lot of it was so true to what we had read in the comics. They did a really good job of delivering very mature content that was pretty complex in a little half-hour cartoon every week. And that's what made that show so special, which is why so many people remember it so fondly. All right, moving on to Cable. I remember Cable's appearances as well. Cable comes in at 75 points, number 15 in the set. X-Men, Future, and Soldier keywords. Has a trait for 25 points, Futuristic Hologram. During Force Construction, you may add up to 2 number 15 Dark Phoenix figures, which are Cable, to your starting force on click number 1 that appears after the KO. They have a 0-point value for all effects, including scoring, but you don't have to reveal any Cable's point value until required. So they're just standing on the board, and it's kind of like the mirror scene from Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon. Get a better vantage point. Sidestep, phasing, teleport. That's a special move power. A special attack power, tactical movement. Once per turn for all characters with this power, telekinesis as free. Special defense power, found the real Cable, stop, invulnerability. The first time this click is revealed, KO all other friendly Cables on the board. So you're kind of trying to figure out who the real Cable is. Once you figure out who the real Cable is, all the fake ones go away and you can finally start to target them. But they all work as normal until then, which is very, very cool. That's awesome. Very big fan of this particular dial. And this one really does harken to the cartoon. That's a really cool way to tie him in. All right, last but not least, we'll go with our Colossal Fig, Magneto. Magneto comes in at 4 different point values. You can play him at 300, 200, 100, or 25. Magneto comes in at set number Colossal 15. Acolytes, Brotherhood of Mutants, Hellfire Club, and Ruler keywords. The Force of Magnetism is at my command is one of his traits. Leadership. Choose a character within range and line of fire. Place that character in a square adjacent to its current square, and that is for free. Mankind's Destruction is at hand as a special attack power, Pulse Wave, and Telekinesis. When Magneto uses Pulse Wave, he can use improved targeting to ignore blocking terrain, and after resolutions, destroy all blocking terrain within that use of Pulse Wave's range, and if 2 or more pieces of blocking terrain are destroyed in this way, generate a standard object. Telekinesis as free but only to make an object attack. So you can use this pulse wave. Oh my gosh. All right, so you use this pulse wave, and if you destroy a bunch of blocking terrain, you can then use telekinesis as free after this pulse wave happens to start throwing the objects that you're generating from destroying all of this blocking terrain to actually make another attack upon the person. Insult to injury at its finest degree. This is awesome. Fantastic Magneto here. He's got a special defense power, Magnetic Shielding. Magneto has Protected, Penetrating Psychic Blast, and Impervious. When Magneto is attacked, modify defense by +1 for every 2 squares the attacker is away from him. Colossal Retaliation. We haven't seen a lot of Colossal Retaliation powers. As a matter of fact, I think this is the first one. Master of Magnetism, free. If no other friendly character has been placed this turn, choose an opposing character that attacked Magneto or damaged a friendly character since your last turn. Place Magneto such that he can make a ranged attack targeting the chosen character, then do so. Now that's if you play him at 25 points. We haven't seen that type of Colossal here today, but if you play him at 25 points, it starts at that last line with that 7, 10, 18, 3 stat line, and then just kind of stands there until you attack somebody, until your opponent attacks somebody on the squad, and then he can retaliate. But the rest of that dial is just bonkers. I love that special pulse wave power. Might be my favorite power that WizKids has ever given to a Magneto, period, in the game. End of story. Fantastic, fantastic figure. And at 300 points, nasty, nasty. Well, there we go. Today, this is day number 2. That is what we pulled. And man, do we have a ton of villains in this set. I'm counting, after everything we pulled over the first couple of days, after 4 boosters, we only have 5 heroes versus all of these villains. So anybody out there who is villainous at heart, who has been begging for bad guys to be a focal point of a set, you're kind of surprisingly getting it in this one. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, this is Scott Porter coming to you from Hyper RPG Studios in Studio City, California. They have an amazing, amazing array of things up online for you to watch. Check them out on Twitch or on YouTube. And they actually have archived episodes of a HeroClix show called Indomitable, which is worth every minute of your time to watch. Highly entertaining and so much fun with some of your favorite figures from HeroClix. So check them out. Thank you again to WizKids for sending me this brick of incredible, amazing, mind-blowing X-Men stuff for an X-Men kid at heart right here. And thank you guys to you for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow for day 3 of this unboxing. And until we do, may all your rolls, you already know it, be critical hits.